Hi, I am Zibit21, and this is Dawn of War 2 Multiplayer Guide for Beginners. Since you're here, I guess you've already played Dawn of War Retribution, and at least heard of the Elite mod. I guess you've also finished the single-player campaign, at least with your favorite race, faction. You might have also played some custom matches with AI and found it compelling enough to try out the multiplayer. And then you found out it was not the way you imagined. It was pretty hard and confusing, and you pretty much got stumped. Yeah. But you didn't give up. You decided to give it another try, and then you got absolutely obliterated. Just like these guys.
You were not prepared.
So, what are the solutions? One that may come quickly to your mind is just to play more in hope that you will finally get good. And it may actually work if you have some kind of training partner or coach. Otherwise, if you play against random players, your experience will be chaotic, frustrating, and just discouraging. Another idea is to watch some replays or casts on YouTube. These are indeed a great source of information about unit composition and some tactics. Yet they still can be confusing, especially that, as far as I know, there is no channel dedicated to learning Dawn of War. And, of course, knowing a certain tactic doesn't mean you will be able to immediately perform it well.
And so you came to me.
What are we going to do then? I definitely want to tell you about some fundamental concepts that will help you to get into right mindset. I'd like to teach you some skills that will make a real difference in your games. And I will give you some hints so that you will know what to focus on while playing the game or watching a cast. So without further ado, let's talk about the most important concept in Dawn of War 2. The one that lies at the very core of the gameplay. Let me ask you, what is this game about? The answer is area control. It's not about killing the enemy or supreme economy, although these things also matter. It's just about controlling the battlefield. So what does it mean and how does it work? First of all, the base management is simplified. You have only one building that produces troops. You don't build anymore, except turrets and generators, but there are no non-combat worker units. Nothing there that would divert your attention from the battlefield. Next, there is no separate economy. There are no resources that would need to be gathered by workers, also non-existent. No minerals or gas like in StarCraft. All your resources are on the battlefield, namely requisition points and power nodes. All you need is to use your troops to capture them and keep them for as long as you can. And then, how do you win the match? By controlling these victory points, or nodes. That's your main objective. Then you have all of these terrain pieces that gives you cover, which in turn makes it easier to control certain areas. Then there are setup teams with suppression weapons, like Devastators with Heavy Bolter. On one hand, they can pin down enemy units on a large area, thus boosting your control over it. On the other hand, they lack mobility, so you have to make sure they really are in the right spot. And if the enemy managed to get to them, then you have to use another important function: retreat or fall back. There are two things that need to be said about it in terms of area control. First is that there's always this dilemma. Do you hold the position and stay and fight, or do you fall back, thus preserving your troops, but losing control over the area? And there are situations when you have to retreat, but I will discuss them on some other occasion. Second is that many times, or perhaps most of times, your goal in the fight would not be to destroy the enemy unit, although it would be really nice if that happened, but to make it fall back, allowing you to take control over the area. And last but not least, the squad reinforcement. You can replenish your troops only in your base, unless you buy a transport or build special structure. The question is, will you spend resources to be able to replenish them on the field? Or do you save your resources but risk losing control whenever you lose your models? Well, that's it for today. What I want you to do now is to remember how area control is a fundamental concept that determines all the things I've mentioned. Go watch some replays or casts. Go play some games, and watch how this concept works in practice. And wait patiently for my next video. Until then, praise the Emperor! Or not.